Hi guys, it's me Karen and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Today I'm going to do a page in this book here, Hanna Karlzon's Christmas book. It's so pretty. And I'm going to do watercolor in it. So I'm not terribly good at watercolor, but this kind of gives you an idea what I'm going to do. Gingerbread with Victorian velvet inking in the background and white frosting. I got an idea on this page, and I thought, wouldn't that be pretty as a gingerbread with frosting? Now, what I'm going to use is Daniel Smith's palette here. It's one of the ones that's full, and we've got a gingerbread color here, and I thought I might be able to use that. And I'm going to use some of these paintbrushes that I bought. One of the gals I follow has put these in hers for watercoloring. Of course, I got to figure out how to open it without dying here. You would think it would open somewhere, that I wouldn't have to use too much strength. There. Now will they slide out the bottom? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I should do that off camera. There we go. We got some paintbrushes, and these are the thin ones. So I don't know if they got a name on them. They're 5235. I was trying to figure it out. They had a name. I'd have to look it up. I'll leave them listed down below. And looking at them, I think I'll take this one. These are really thin. This one has a cap. It was here on my desk somewhere. It fell out, and if I could twist that off, this is kind of like a medium size. You do have one that's a little fuller and bigger, but we're going to try this one. Going to get it wet. There we go. Now it's bendable, and it's quite thin, but I want it thin enough to go on this page. And we're going to need something to put the paint on. So we can clean this semi sort of palette thing off here. Maybe possibly if I have something to do that with. And everything falls on the floor. Okay, we hopefully will not have Rory on my desk, because this is going to be water and it's going to be messy, and she's up in the window right now. She's like, what do you mean, Mom? Yeah, it's still a little red. I don't have anything I can use. I can use this piece here on the other palette. It's the same kind of thing. I don't know really what color this is, so I wanted to take it out. Yeah, that's gingerbready. Just use this palette. This is another Daniel Smith paint set, but it only comes with the little colors that are there. There we go. Oh, that's a perfect gingerbread color. Okay, so basically everything, if you've seen gingerbread houses, that's kind of the look I'm going for, is going to be colored in a gingerbread color. So the cookie form. And when it gets really light on my brush, we'll go in on the main. Although it's going to be frosting, it's going to need some shading, and if you remember, it's a cookie, and the cookie line's going to come down this way. We want to make sure that there's a tiny bit of the coloration in there. These are nice paintbrushes. Okay, little ear. We can get a little darker there. So how are you all doing? We're doing okay here. I think I'll make that a cookie part too. I've been kind of missing only a couple of things on my end. I had to wean myself off of some medication that I was on. It didn't seem to help with any of my problems, arthritis-wise. And that took 3 weeks. And it wasn't fun, so let's get a little more water in there. Oops. Get that off of there. Gonna have Victorian velvet is a kind of a pink purple color in the background. And it's distress ink. I love using distress ink, so I'm going to start bringing that back into some of my art because it's also a water-based product and you can use it as a watercolor if you like. Get a little more of that. I don't know what this color is called. I'd have to take the pan out, but I will leave it in the description box for you. All the colors that I use will be in there, and any links I can find I'll stick in there too. I'm not an affiliate or anything, but if you'd like to know where you can get the products, I'll stick them in there for you. There we go. So our neighborhood has already started to put up Christmas. We have a neighbor next door that has little kids, and I'm assuming that this is at least one of their little kids' first Christmas. So they've got their tree up. Looks so festive. I can't I can't put ours up until at least after Thanksgiving. It's one thing if you've got little kids and it's fun to do, but I have a cat. Sometimes it's not so fun to put stuff up when you have a cat. And they go, ooh, look at that, it's a tree. Just for me. I mean, everything that we bring in the house is just for her. She thinks. Okay, we're going to put a little of this brown in the main too. I'm kind of just going where it's in the dark areas, like this is a little pile and that would be fluffier. There's really no rhyme or reason, but this is kind of tucked in there, a little tuck in there, and it's just a light coverage. There. And of course, you know, watercolor dries lighter. We're also going to go in lightly and put it in the candy cane area, which we can do with just the gingerbread color and white frosting. So this whole page is going to be like a gingerbread house. I don't have any in my house. I think my cat would think it's a cookie. Try to eat it. Let's see. I don't know how much you can see here. Yeah, drop things all over. I'm trying to move. Nope, Leave that on there. Okay, here we just tilt it up so you can see the bottom of the book a little more. What are you doing, Rory? Found a piece of paper. She likes paper bags with the twisted cardboard handles. She thinks those are a kick. And anything with paper on it. We're just going to go up here and put it up here. This would be a cookie too. Don't leave those alone, honey. And she might chew on the lights. She thinks those are fun too. Gotta get that a little darker there. When do you guys put up your Christmas decorations? This year my mother-in-law is in a different facility. She's no longer at home, so I used to go over and do all her trees there. But now we're going to be going over to her new place, and we have to downsize everything. So, not as many trees as she used to have. But it'll be decorated up pretty nicely. She has a bunch of, we call them Muffy bears, Muffy Vandebeer. She collected those when they were popular. And she has all the accessories to go with them, so we bring them over to her house, her new apartment type thing, and we decorate it every season. I'm just going to go over those. I'm going to make them white anyway. The flowers I may do in the velvet. Okay, and then in here, boom, boom. We'll just draw that across. Don't chew the light, honey. No, no. No, no. No. Ah. Stop it. Stop it. No, don't pull that down. Go back in the window. We're having a windstorm, I think you call it. Windstorm with the big amount of rain. We have one of those quote unquote bots that tell us things. Little round thing sits over there. And she informed me this morning at 7 in the morning that we have a wind advisory until the 13th. The way she said it, though, she said it's going to be on the 14th and all the way until the 13th. And I was like, well, that's interesting. You're going backwards in time? But, I mean, that's why they do it. Are we looking like a cookie? And we'll do that in the bells. Just a light coverage. Okay, and then down at the bottom, do this part. Okay, and then down at the bottom. We didn't get this part. Not very much water in that. Back to eating the lights again. Rory, stop it. Please. Look at me with those little eyes. I'm not doing anything. Oops, went out again. And I think we'll go in all these little berries with a little bit of that color. And we're going to do the saddle with that same color there. Darker under there. Here we go. Okay. Then we're going to get out some of the distress ink. Okay, let's try to get the picture a little more in frame here. I've got a big tool. This one just happens to be a scrapbook.com one. Tim Holtz ones are the same shape. They all have Velcro under here, and the little pads fit right on top of them. I got out some distress ink. This is the Victorian Velvet, and we have a little forest moss for some of these green leaves. And I don't know, I brought out some scattered straw for fun. I have a little tool. It's a detail tool. They just got a little foam on a dowel. I mean, you can make these yourself. They don't have to pay $8 for them. Okay, so we're going to, I have a old sponge here. I have no idea what color's on here, and we're going to squish it down and see if anything comes out. So there's like a yellowish tint to that. I'm going to take that, and we're going to, should have got out a brown too while I was here. What do we got right on the top here? Crushed corduroy. That might work. If I dab this in here, bump, 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 that's a pat. And if you pat it, you'll get this interesting color. And when you make cookies, they're going to have a little pattern on them. So I'm just going to take that and pat it in here in certain spots. Just using the edge there, by the way. Do 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 do, boom boom boom, and then the cookie up here. Boom 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 boom. We'll get it on the back end here, and we'll do that up here. Boom 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 boom. Just some texture. Now usually when you're doing inking you want it to look smooth, but I want it to look rough, so that's why I'm doing it this way. Okay, we'll just do a little more up there. All right. Now we're going to take this one off of here. We can put a clean one on, but because I want to do a little bit of work, I'm just going to squish this in my fingers, and we're going to go in with the Victorian velvet just in the flower areas, squishing it. You can use the tool, but I'm just not into it right now. So we just put a little on the edge here. Just like that. We're just going to go in all these little flowers and get some on the flower petals. Now we've already got some brown paint on that, so some of these are going to look a little darker and some of them are going to look a little brighter. But remember, we're going to put white frosting over all of this, so we'll see how the white frosting goes. Just dip it in until you get the right color that you want for our little poinsettias. Also remember, this is the first stages. We're going to go in with some pencils, not just ink. Okay, we want to get the flowers up here. This big flower here. And then we'll have to do the bows. Don't worry if you get it all over your fingernails. It is water-based, but you might get some staining. I don't care. I could cover it with fingernail polish, right? Alright, so we got the brown. We got some of the pink. I want to put the pink in the background, but I want to do that with a bigger thing. And the green. We're going to take the other portion of this little thing and fold it. This is very dark green. It's moss green, so it's going to come out pretty dark. But we want to add that into some of these leaves. Pick and choose your leaves. It doesn't really matter. They're there. So just add in some of the green. Also add that into our cookie base because it's cool. Maybe a little up here on the top. All right. Turn it again and just use this little corner. Then we're going to put in some scattered straw. which is a yellow brown based color. It's kind of like an ochre. We put it up there on the star, put it in the flower up here, put it on the bells. And down in here, put a little in the saddle. It's getting dark outside, and guys want to go race their cars. There we go. All right. Get rid of the ink. Well, not really, because we have to do this one. And I don't want all that. Well, why not? We'll just use all those colors. Pop it back on. We're going to go into the ink pad with the pink. Running on in there. You notice it's only on a couple of places. If I pop that right down there, you're going to get lines all over the place. So you want to work that in. If you want to get the little wiggly lines, get them on your scrap paper, not your artwork. So now when you use it, you get a softer look. You don't push too much pressure down, but now it's got a lot of ink loaded into it. Okay? Instead of doing it in a round circle here, I'm just going to pop it down. And then we're just going to go in the background here and lay down some of that pink. It's going to go over the horse, but it's not going to show up too much because you are brown and watercolored. And this is just an ink coveration. It will not change too much of the color unless you really get it coated dark. And I just want to get some of that back here. Do a little more down in here. We'll get those bows. Just lightly do them. Go over your flowers. It's okay to go a little darker there. Just get a coloration down there too. Now I want it really dark, so I'm going to put a little more down in here. Push down a little harder. Okay, a little up here in the lights. In that bow. I got a round circle there, so I'm just going to take it and work in it and make it less of a color that you can see. A little in the bells, a little over here, get that bow. Bring some out on this side and bring some up here. I really need a little more than that up here. Okay, a little over on that side. Under the pony's head here. There we go. For right now, that looks good. We may put on some more of that later. Then we're going to take a washcloth. Try to get it on a side that isn't dirty. Take a little spray bottle, and we're going to spray the ink. We're going to spray up here. If I could pull out some of that. There we go. And it'll get a little water splattered. I don't know what you want to call it, but that just changes the effect here a little. So if you weren't perfect with your circles, you can always use that. And if we put it up here where the watercolor is, we can pull out some of that watercolor if we didn't like the color we put in. So if we splatter like a couple of those down here, the green ink will move, and you'll get a different effect down here too. Now if you're curious, I could have showed you this prior to doing this. Did it bleed through? No. If you use it lightly in the back of the page, if you use it really, really heavy with the distress ink, and I mean really heavy where it gets really dark and you get it wet, it can bleed through, but you can also cover it up on this side of the page. So right now we're just going to let this dry, and then when I come back in the next video, we will start with the pencil work to get some of the shading done in here, and then we will try to figure out which white frosting I want to use. It could be Posca, it could be the gel pen, or it could be a white gouache. It all depends on what will really work. And then this page will also get some glitter, and they always use the glitter stickles. I got hooked on these when I was doing ink before, and I always use them. They're the stickles from Ranger, and they are a glitter glue. Comes in different colors. I like to use, like on this one I use the silver. This one I'm probably going to use the gold, and I like diamond, which is just a clear with a real pretty glitter on it. Anyway, this page has got to dry. I didn't put too much water on it, so the corners and everything, all the water got put in the middle of the page. It will buckle a little, but once it dries, it should be okay. So I will see you in the next video, and like I said, I will leave the where I got the book, where I got the paint, where I got the paintbrushes, and what color that brown is. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye now.